Hi everybody, welcome to an amazing day here at the Preserve in Carmel, California. And we're gonna get started right away with our golf warm-up routine. Really important to know before we get going that you warm up before you practice. Never hit golf balls to warm up. And we're gonna start right now. I'm using my favorite warm-up tool, the toolbox, and I'm gonna reach to the sky. We're gonna do a big inhale up, arms overhead, and we're gonna slowly bend backwards. Just nice and easy here. We're not gonna overdo it. And we're gonna exhale and forward fold down and take a couple deep breaths here. Just relax. We're just hanging out here. Arms free. Allow the weight of your body to just flow right into your hamstrings. Stretch them out nice and gently. And a big inhale. We're going to do it one more time. Arms overhead. Arch the back a little further this time. Put those hands behind your head and exhale, forward fold again. Nice deep breath. Exhale. And again, just hang out. You can do a little elephant move here if you want to. Swing those trunks. That kind of gets the hips and the glutes engaged. And a big inhale. And a deeper back bend this time. All the way back. How far can you go? And exhale, forward fold. And if you can touch the ground this time, you should be able to go a little deeper. And just let it hang out here. And inhale, and back to normal. So we're just going to put the toolbox on your shoulders here, and we're going to do a little twisting just gently. We got to get that spinal fluid going this morning. That's right, because we're going to do a lot of swinging, and we do a lot of swinging, that spine's going to get a workout. And we start out nice and easy, and then we start stretching a little longer. It's almost as if we were hitting pitch shots there. Now we're going to wedges. And now we're actually going to start hitting some middle irons. A little bigger turn, both directions. And you ready to start hitting those fairway woods? Yep. Nice and slow. You can do it on the golf swing plane if you want to too. Introduce a little footwork. And now we're going to do drivers. Really engage those shoulders. And that's good. All right. Now we're going to reach the hands overhead, way up overhead. We're going to pull our hands apart and we're going to do side bends. You ready? To one side. Deep breath in. And a nice little added stretch as you're pulling your hands apart is to look up to the sky. Oh, I love that California sunshine. Exhale back. Let's do it to the other side. Here we go. What you do to one side, you always do to the other. Nice deep breath. Feeling pretty good this morning. Getting ready to go. And up. Let's do it one more time. Side bends. Keep the arms nice and straight on the vertical plane. And exhale up. And again to the other side. Oh, yes. You know, it's actually going to help you develop more clubhead speed in your golf swing, too. Promise. All right. We're going to do the hip flexors. You ready? I love this move. Let's put it out here. We're going to assume a one-legged stance, and we're going to go ahead and squat down. Use the toolbox for balance. The deeper you can bend that knee, the deeper the stretch. If you want even a little more, you really want to go for it, take the opposite hand to the opposite knee and just gently push the knee. It just gives you a little deeper stretch. Should really be able to feel these in the glutes and the hip joint. Couple deep breaths here. And again, let it sink down a little lower if you can. And come on up. Switch hands to the other side. And again, deep into the hip. Here we go. Ooh, I'm not as good on this side. I can feel that. Woo. A couple deep breaths. How low can you go? It's good for skiing too. Any skiers out there? It's a great little warm up. All right, we're going to do the shoulder stretch. Nice wide stance here. We're going to take the toolbox, one thumb over the other. We're going to put it as far out in front of our bodies as we can. We're going to push against the stick, and we're going to take our head and put it through our arms and just hang here. This is a great shoulder stretch. Couple breaths here. Now we're going to do a little counterclockwise circle, and you're going to watch what this does to your QL muscle. You're going to start to feel that. Oh, all those deep muscles that are so hard to get to warm up. I find myself, the QL is one of the real key points that I need to warm up in the morning to prevent my back from getting tired and giving me problems the next day after a long day of golf. Let's reverse the direction. Oh, it feels so good. Love that. Oh, and up. Okay, last one. My friend Miguel Angel Jimenez showed me this. That's right, just a little tug of the toes. Let's feel that right there. Really good. And a little arm and wrist twist here. This is good for the shoulders. One side. You can also do a little wrist motion this way. Miguel loves to do this as part of his warm-up. I stole it from him. I admit it. It's okay. He won't mind. I'll probably buy him a glass of wine and a cigar and he'll be fine. Here we go. Other side. Engage that shoulder. And a little rest here. Wrist movement back and forth. And you are warmed up and now ready to swing the club. So before we swing the golf club, let's actually swing our toolbox. And we're going to reach inside and we're going to grab the metal bar and we're going to make a little line in the grass. Because guess what? The line drill, even with the toolbox. You guessed it. We're going to put the toolbox about 1.5 inches behind that line and we're going to make some really slow, full swings here. And we're going to sense how that swing bottom is 4 inches in front of that line. We're going to engage the load on the backswing, the lag on the downswing, and we're going to implement the workhorse to be the delivery mechanism to deliver a lagging club into the ball. Now we're going to start picking up the speed just ever so slightly. Good for coordination. Good for those who have a ball bound factor. And also good to rehearse the movement of your golf swing. Whatever you're tending to work on it right here. Because it's a lot easier to do without a ball than with a ball, I promise you. And after about 10 swings, you're ready to go. Thanks for joining us. Remember, the toolbox, it's available on our website at impactzonegolf.com. And it is a handy tool with over 90 different uses to improve your game. I want to give you a personal demonstration of one of my favorite tools in golf. It's called the Impact Zone Golf Toolbox. There are so many different uses of this, from doing an exercise warm-up. You can put the toolbox in your golf bag and it actually acts as the longest club. So when you travel, none of the airlines can break any of your clubs anymore because you got the toolbox in it. It protects all your clubs. But I think the most pertinent issues and the most pertinent uses of the toolbox relate to improving your impact. And I want to show you today some of the real key ways to use your toolbox to improve your impact. So let me show you a bunch of the different things that are actually inside the toolbox. This little screw cap, you simply undo it, put it in your pocket for now, and you'll see two little metal rods. We'll show you uses of this in a moment. But I also want to show you there are two alignment rods. The clever thing, now at this point you can actually take your little screw cap and put it back in. You can take this alignment rod and actually slide it through the middle of the toolbox like this. This is a perfect 90-degree angle that you can then lay down to the ball and begin your setup routine. Everything about your impact is going to relate to these lines. So I'm going to take the other alignment rod and I'm going to put it right here next to the ball, and notice how it is parallel to this alignment rod. When I have it exactly parallel, the line going through the ball is exactly the line going to the target. Then I know I've set up my toolbox correctly. So again, the arrow on the one alignment rod is right in the middle of the golf ball. I slide it back so it doesn't get in my way. And now I have all this room here to hit golf shots and get accurate divot information. So now I'm going to hit a shot. Now let's take a look at the divot and see what kind of shot I hit. To do this, I'm going to superimpose where the golf ball was by extending this rod. So I know the center of the golf ball was right here. Additionally, I'm going to look at a parallel line to my target and analyze the front end of the divot and analyze how it relates to this. Most people tend to look at the front end of the divot. The club moves in an arc. Therefore, the front of the divot is not the true indication of where the path of the club is coming through the ball. The true indication is actually right at the ball. But here we have just after the ball, and you can see the outside rails of the divot are pointing perpendicular to our target line. So it was really good path. The other thing I had is notice how the golf ball is actually placed in the center of the divot. So the golf ball was struck in the center of the club face. I can actually put the club face back and reenact impact and see exactly what was going on. Notice how the metal rod is immediately in the center of the club face. The golf shot gives me an indication of where my club face was to path. It was a very straight shot. Therefore, I know that my club face was square to path. That's just one example of many of how the toolbox alignment can actually be used in your practice sessions to help you keep an accounting of your impact and what's going on with your divots so you can properly assess shots and properly make the right corrections. Let me show you another couple uses of the toolbox. For this, I'm actually going to take out the alignment sticks, and I'm going to take the metal rods and notice how I'm going to place them into these little holes in the side of the toolbox. And from here, I'm actually going to put the rod on the ground. And if I want to practice on my backswing, for example, oftentimes I struggle taking the club straight back from the ball. That's sometimes a very important key for me. So if I want to practice taking the club straight back from the ball, now I can actually do so right along my Impact Zone Toolbox. Notice how it sets up a perfect plane and puts me in a perfect backswing position. You can also do this in putting to set up perfect path in putting or chipping. Again, allowing the club shaft to move right up the plane puts you in a plane on your backswing. Let me give you another example of the toolbox. You can actually put now the rod vertically through, and notice I can tell from here whether the club shaft is leaning forward at address or behind at address. If my club shaft is here, I know it's behind. If it's pressing too hard into the alignment rod, then I know it's too far ahead. So if I want the club shaft to be perfectly perpendicular at address, I can use the toolbox to create that. Additionally, the toolbox can be used as a heavy-weighted club for warming up or actually creating some more drills for your to improve your impact. So one of the things I do is I'll reassemble the toolbox. Reassemble, it's really easy. Unscrew the cap. We put our little metal rods back in. We put our alignment rods back in. And then we screw it down. Make sure the screw cap is on firmly for this. We grip it by the screw cap end, and now we're ready to make full swings. This is a great warm-up tool, and a heavy-weighted club not only gives you increased flexibility, but also helps you warm up and helps you to develop more club head speed. So there's a plethora of uses of the Impact Zone Toolbox. You can use it to do warm-up exercises. You can use it in a variety of ways to swing. You can use so many different alignment rods and these 4 little things inside the toolbox. You can even use the metal rods to draw your lines in the sand or in the grass for your line drills. You can draw perfect lines. Perfect perpendicular lines even. Just like that. And you have perfect lines to do your line drill in the grass or the sand. So the toolbox has an unbelievable number of different uses that can help you in improving your impact and get you into your impact zone, help you assess and correct shots properly, and get you to play your best golf of your life. Thanks for joining us here on this special segment of how to use your Impact Zone Golf Toolbox to improve your golf game. Just click on the link below to order yours today.